Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co host, Kevin,
Hello.
Brett,
What's up?
and rejoining the show, friend of the show now, our boy, William.
What's going on?
William, happy to have you back for another review, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure to be back.
You came back for a good episode. This is the challenge, Ride or Dies, episode 3. I thought a great episode, a great mix of surprises, relationship drama, scheming, lying, a good challenge, a great elimination. So a lot of things for us to go over. Also apparently an identity crisis. So we'll get to that as well. We're gonna start right up the top. I'm gonna go from the top to the bottom on this, and we'll comment as we go. Jordan and Aneesa are the new team. We knew that from the end of last week. Love to have Jordan and Aneesa. Really interesting dynamic, which I kind of forgot about, which I'm glad they highlighted. Aneesa being Tori's best friend, but also being really close to Jordan. Going to be very interesting to watch that play out throughout the season.
I agree.
I think there's not really much to see play out anymore because I feel like they both still have a lot of love in their heart for each other and basically would want the other to win if they don't win.
Well, more play out is like, do they get back together or like something like that? Let's be real. I forget.
I don't think
laughed.
so.
I laughed the other episode where it was like, oh, I'm a good girl. Tori said this. Like, I when I'm into something, I like stick to it. Look, I've not seen her not cheat on her boyfriend in like half of the seasons that she's been in, like, all the way back to what was she in?
Are you the one?
Are you the one? Yeah, like didn't she cheat on him there?
And then when they came on the challenge,
I feel like she was a big flirt, so she always was kind of bouncing around from to guy, not in like a slutty way really, but just
right.
like in a very flirty way.
Yeah.
it's more so like less so that she's like a cheater. I don't think she really per se like cheats, but it's like she lines up the next guy before. And I think that's like what Jordan, after the breakup, obviously he breaks up with her. They had their stuff, whatever was going on. But then she immediately jumps and like hooks up with Fessy, and that's like got him super mad and made it probably way worse because it was like,
well, she likes that companionship. Like she needs it. And so even like when I forget her first boyfriend's name.
Why hasn't Devin gotten in there yet?
Well,
he's got friend zone.
Good dude.
Yeah, he's I used to hate Devin too, and I love him now. He's like one of my favorites.
Will, what do you think of this? The Tori, Jordan, all that.
I think with Aneesa and Jordan coming in, this episode as compared to when we talked about the right before this all started, my perception of Jordan and Aneesa coming in, I think has just changed a little bit from what I had said. I think that they're going to align themselves with Tori and Devin. It's probably going to let's just call this now. They're going to probably wait 2 episodes, and then that's when they're going to stab Tori and Devin in the back and start throwing them out. And it's not even just going to be the rookies at this time. It's literally going to be Jordan probably taking out some kind of emotional distress from whatever happened in their relationship. That's their business. Whatever gets aired out gets aired out.
Dude, the fucking sight.
That's why I'm saying
at the
end of the episode when he was like, "I've got your back." And then they had that little slight dot moment, but I've got to get the money on this, and I've got to get Aneesa the win on this.
He was crossing his fingers.
They've already.
Here's actually my like one of the takes that I took from this was if Aneesa and Tori are best friends, and even just like the community that they're
gonna be in the elimination together. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, like Nani and Casey. But no, I'm more thinking, how is this a surprise? Like, how was Aneesa not able to like tell anybody? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know how that went down as to how she was so dumbfounded, had no idea that Jordan was coming, and like even all of them.
He's a replacement.
A replacement for who?
I don't know, but I heard that Jordan replaced whoever was supposed to be Aneesa's partner, and I don't know at what point that happened. So I don't know when that happened.
This is with all the reality shows, especially with I'm a huge RuPaul's Drag Race fan, and leading up to every season, there's always some kind of leak as to this person, especially all-star seasons, there's some kind of leak this person's canceled all their bookings, and that's caused the stir of predicting, okay, before casting episodes come out, okay, this person's going to be one of the people on there. Same with like the local talent. They don't say anything. They can't. You sign a non-disclosure agreement. I can at least say for myself, when I was trying out for the real world, when I got to one of the final casting calls, they literally said, hey, if you do get selected, you can't say jack shit to anybody. It's literally, you have to right up to the day of and keep everything a complete hush.
Which is cool.
Which is, it's cool
awesome.
and it's interesting, but at the same time, it's like that level of stress. And so I can kind of understand where they're coming from with the whole, why didn't you say anything to me? Even if all these people, have these mixed kind of like friendships outside of the show.
I agree. So obviously the last thing with them is that they did talk in the bar later on. Really great, direct, honest conversation. One of the better conversations I've ever seen exes have, honestly, especially on the challenge.
Yeah.
Both kind of admitted things, both were really cool. And it does plant the seed of doubt for us, or question to say, will we see a redemption story, or like William thinks he's gonna murder her? So we'll see.
I think going off what William said, I don't think they're gonna go for each other, but I think we're gonna get a scenario where they're pulling daggers together, and then
for sure.
they'll probably like throw the other in or something like that, or they'll just be head to head in the thing. So
let's talk about the. Oh, go ahead, Kev.
No, I could see all of that, but I was like kind of blown away with the detail that William had there. That I was like, all right, I'm all in on that.
Let's do it. I like his idea better.
Before we leave the Tori conversation, though, I think just one of the things she said that just had me dying in laughter was when she said every time she sees Fessy walking around, it just reminds her that he's her living mistake.
Well, we'll just use that as a segue.
There's a segue right there.
It's these little details that they do in each episode where they focus on certain people. It's like, fuck, now I know that they're gonna eventually watch. They're gonna set it up with Fessy, Tori, and Jordan, all of them being in the lineup of selection, and then watch. It's gonna be Tori that pulls the dagger, and she has to choose. Okay, well, whoever. All these different little
between whoever and Jordan.
That's why I love shows like this, because I love getting so in depth with like, oh, this is like actually like great storytelling. I don't care if it's scripted.
We'll get to that.
But
later. Dagger pull this episode is gonna have ramifications in the next episode. It's gonna be great. But the build me up challenge. You had to get 6 barrels, very similar to Survivor this week. Haul 6 barrels, build and stack at 3 stations, and cross the finish line. Basically, without the puzzle, this was the same exact challenge, almost a Survivor from this week. I gotta make sure I get this right. Fessel and Mariah win. And also Tommy and Annalise are really short. We'll get to Tommy and Annalise. Fessy, he's got a new name.
Yeah, I'm not changing that one.
Fessel.
I will never call him.
Fessel is Arabic for the decision maker.
Well, he's either Fessel or just Messy Fessy.
Right. Yeah, that's what's been established.
So his nickname's not Fessy anymore. It's not Fessel. It's Messy Fessy.
Messy Fessel has 4 women so far this year. Michelle, Laurel, Annalise, and Colleen. Why? Like, why do these women love this dude so much?
Dude, Laurel is the one that gets me on every time. It's like, you've been here a billion times.
Why do they like him?
I don't know. My thing is this: did Corey pass the torch to Fessel?
Yeah, but
because they are. Wasn't Corey the last one that was the whole like house slut scenario?
Basically,
The difference between
and now
Fessel
we don't have.
It used to be like
Corey gets chicks pregnant too much.
It used to be like 90% of them, like were.
I think that's a whole other reality show. I don't think you have time to cover.
Oh, we can cover all. Yeah, you're right, Sean.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. I thought something regarding Fessy and his women, though. Something he said that was hilarious was that Horatio is basically boyfriend number 2. So any of the women that Fessy doesn't have time for, Horatio can have them.
Dude, I got so internally mad hearing him say that. I literally was just like, this fucking dude. And then I turned to my roommate and was like, you want to hear something about this guy trying to defend himself as a tight end in college? And I told him that whole story of him just But yeah, that pissed me off.
One of my favorite things in this episode, honestly, was Tommy and Annalise. They are so squirrely and so slimy, big brother people, like to a T. They make deals with both Colleen and Kim, and then go right outside to Olivia and Horatio, make deal. They go to a classic interview with Olivia saying she trusts them. And like he literally sounds like a weasel, like he squeaks when he talks, for God's sakes. Like he's like an elf. And they end up in the knife pull together. And it's perfect, like you said, William. Perfect. Like you can't write it better, where he has to choose between the two teams that within an hour he made deals with. And he chooses to not save Horatio to put him up. And we'll get to the actual elimination in a minute here, but like, what a scenario. Like that, you can't tell me there aren't like reality TV gods out there that like just line these things up, aka the producers, that make this so great. Like it's awesome.
I mean, we knew this was going to be an outcome though, because they were at the bar and they were already in the 4 people nominated, right? So we knew that this was probably going to happen. Somebody was going to have to say someone's name.
Yeah, those 4 teams: Annalise and Tommy, Olivia, Horatio, Raven and Johnny, Colleen and Kim. Just for context. I mean, I like the strategy though. I mean, you're going to get picked off as rookies regardless. You might as well throw 2 strong ones in and just like let one of them out of there. Like you're going to end up having to face teams that are rookies. You might as well just get rid of some strong rookies if you can. So you have a better chance. I don't really fault the strategy. I just don't know if they needed to do it like the same night back to back.
I have to kind of agree on this. I ever since they brought Johnny back, it was just kind of like we went back to the classic formula of knock out the rookies first,
Johnny.
Then the rookies know, and then rookies start targeting the vets, and then it's okay. Then Johnny already knows right there who's in between, which it's Fessel, and he's already like, yeah, we can burn him. It doesn't matter. So it's kind of we're already seeing the lines kind of drawn, unfortunately. But yeah,
I can't believe we're doing so good at calling Fessy Fessel. Big ups to us.
Again, I know I'm not gonna.
I will.
I know I'll fuck up.
One thing before we talk about the elimination challenge, I do want to talk about the through line of Johnny and Raven. That's so Raven is just enough. Like she's so scorned this whole season, like the most scorned chick of all time. She literally is like, who plans on going on the challenge to start trying to see if you can date? Like, what are you a dope? I'm sorry,
dude. I was saying I went to this and I talked to my roommate. What made him let her stay? You know what I mean? Because he was in full understanding of what was going on. So our conclusion was this. I bet you she's a beast. Long run, she's like a hidden cam situation. Like you wouldn't know. Like well, so like
they did win the challenge.
Like a Cara Maria.
Yeah, they did
exactly
on the other heat.
But like he's bringing in somebody who knows nobody, who knows not to start drama with, gonna follow his lead. I bet you she's a stud.
Let's talk about the zone. The elimination. This one was called a double decker. It was a 2-story, 2-stage Hall Brawl. I know Brett had to be psyched. I know William was psyched. Everyone gets psyched. I did like the change. I like to have it your teammates. It was really cool. I thought that was a nice little flip to it. Basically, it was a pole, kind of like a horizontal pole placed in between the Hall Brawl, right in the middle. You had to push the pole against your opponent to the other end. So a little different than having to tackle people and breaking people's bones. I think that's probably a smart bet. I think it was pretty cool. A little twist to it. If you on the first floor got done first, it gave your teammate a 1-second advantage in the race to the middle, which after the first heat, I think came into play more when people realized how to do it. Obviously, like I said, it was Johnny and Raven versus Horatio and Olivia. Horatio is a monster and Olivia is a monster too. Like both just beasts. Complete.
Yeah, they looked impressive, to be honest.
I mean, impressive win.
I don't even want to talk about Horatio. I want to talk about Olivia. Homegirl in that 3rd round. Woo! like a fucking damn train ran her ass over. Like, god damn! I even said that shit out loud when that happened. Whew.
Flawless.
I mean,
she's
I love it.
Victory, dude.
She's a thick girl. Plus, she had the advantage. So, I mean, basically, if you're the second person, like, you know that someone's getting the jump on you. So I'm actually glad they were able to switch sides so that guys had to be on top at least once.
The rotation made sense. I thought that was fair. I think it made everything a pretty fair, competitive balance.
I also like the fact that it was a pull that you had to push, opposed to like, I mean, you had to still hit, but like, it took away from that, like, let me grab your shoelace and hold you until, like, as long as I could hold off and basically still lose. But
no, it was awesome.
I liked it.
It was just like Hall Brawl, just like a very unique, innovative way to.
I still think we'll get a regular Hall Brawl this season.
And I think the one thing that played in Olivia's favor was on that upper level, that metal grate with the first round, and the fact that homegirl lost her shoe, and just having to sit there and just hold someone back with just your feet on that. I mean,
walking on that stuff like in socks is not comfortable. I could only imagine.
Yes, agreed. I can only imagine the amount of pain homegirl was in just after that first one. But like I was saying, like the fact that that round 3 alone, just
great moment, great sound clip, great video.
I don't even want to talk about Horatio. I knew he was going to do good.
Well, I don't know, because like Johnny's a football player, so I kind of thought like, man, he's got a lower center of gravity. Horatio's a little
professional
skinnier
soccer player.
Yeah, I didn't know that until when he said that.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
He was strong, dude.
Yeah. He looks like a pro soccer player.
He was strong. He wasn't budging. You could see in his legs. He doesn't have big legs, but he was just not being moved really very much.
I mean, he did lose the Johnny on the middle route up top.
But he reminds me of like Theo to an extent.
One thing I didn't like about the bottom side, and I thought about this, was the fact that they were walking onto these, like, I guess off of wet sand. Yeah. Is what I was thinking it could have been. So when we saw Johnny slip, like take that nasty tumble or whatever, that's when I was just like, oh yeah, that sand's probably not a good idea.
The Horatio and Olivia going back is definitely the better storyline. Now they can have the whole issue with Annalise and Tommy. Also, we don't thankfully have to hear about Raven and Johnny and their relationship anymore. I was over it. 2 or 3 episodes was enough. Good early season storyline. They were in 2 eliminations, 1-1. Probably gets them onto another season at least. They have a running storyline. Good for them. Established themselves. Now get off my TV.
I mean, I definitely think they'll be back. At least Johnny. Sure. I think Johnny will want to be back and get the invite because
I think she'll come too.
They won the very first episode, and then they actually got second place on this episode for the daily. So they're a strong team for sure. I think they'll be back.
We had the tease of the new team. The last team we know because of the season preview, the publicly released cast. It's going to be Daryl and Darrell, Amin, and Veronica. So another OG guy and girl. I think that'll kind of clear out the adding on of the cast, and we'll kind of now just go straight eliminations from this point forward. But guys, 3 episodes in, 3 bangers, in my opinion. 3 great episodes. And Challenge hasn't been like that outside of All Stars, which was also kind of hit or miss sometimes. So this season has definitely revitalized my interest. And it seems like people are a little bit more interested too, viewership wise, which is great. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Share with your friends. If you're watching the challenge, checking us out, we're making a push. We're heading towards 1,000 subscribers, and everybody helps. So tell your friends. Word of mouth really helps. And, that's why we like to also rotate people in. Let you see some other people, some of your friends that you may never see on podcast. And love bringing people like Brett, William, Kevin. A lot of us been around for a while, been watching these shows forever, and we appreciate you guys watching. So let us know what else you're interested in us covering. You can see our channel here, a ton of playlists, covering a ton of stuff. But let us know, and we'll probably give it a shot. So for myself, Kevin, Brett, William, thank you. Peace.
Yeah.